Okay, guys, good morning to all of you, right? Hope you're okay today. Hope you're doing well, right? It's a beautiful day because we are entering into the rainy time, and this weather is better. But right now it's a little bit hot, right? I think in all of this area in El Salvador. But thanks God, we are starting this new day, so in which we're gonna be learning something about classroom management related to the lesson planning. So let me see. Just 13 students connected to the class. I hope that the rest one who are not in here or not in the class can see this recorded class afterward. But thank you for those who are always punctual, for who are always on time. So thank you for being right over here. So guys, as I said before, it's a big bless for me to stay before you in this class to learn something new, right? And I just want to motivate you. Just want to push you to speak, to practice your English. Remember that this is your time, this is your hour, this is the only one opportunity to practice, right? To speak, to chat. Maybe during the day you are not having any other practice or you don't have any other opportunity to speak or try to practice the word you're learning every single day. So let's start. This is our topic for today's class, and it says Introduction to Lesson Planning. I just wanna add to this topic, to this lesson, that we are not gonna be learning how to write a lesson planning today. I just want you to learn this, right? Want to understand this part. That today the focus on the lesson is not to learn how to write a lesson planning. No, this is not the purpose, right? The purpose of today's lesson is for understanding the importance of lesson planning or understanding some basic parts of the lesson planning, but not to learn how to write a lesson planning, okay? Today, we are not learning how to write an objective or learning competency. We are not here to learn how to write a general objective. We are not here to write a monthly planner, nope, or to learn the different kind of planifications or lesson plans that we have in the English language. No, this is not the purpose. The purpose of today's lesson is to learn the importance of lesson plannings. Okay, well, starting with this topic, it's important to say that every teacher must have their own lesson planning. Why? Because we need this guideline to teach our classes. Okay, so in the lesson planning, you are writing what you are pretending to do during the lesson, the lesson that you're gonna be performing. For example, if you are in it about the subject you are teaching too, right? This is not the same as just writing what you're gonna be doing, right? Because if you are just having a script, it's not a lesson planning. And I just want to clarify this because you're gonna be listening to many teachers, especially the Spanish teachers. Maybe you're working, I don't know, or maybe in the future in which you're gonna be working. There's some teachers can tell you that they are having some scripts and at the same time lesson plannings, and you can maybe get confused, right, about this idea. How it is possible that these teachers are having scripts in which they detail the step that you're going to be performing during the class, during the lesson? But I didn't study this at the university. Well, we did, right? Actually, we are studying this here at the university, but in the Spanish didactics or pedagogy lessons, the Spanish ones. But in the English ones, very different. We, as English teachers, are having different kind of methodologies to prepare our classes, which are very different from the Spanish lessons. This is a problem when we start working in a school or in a private school, because when you are in a workshop, for example, and I tell you this, and I'm telling to you this because I have suffered this during the last, let me see, during the last 8 years. that I am working in a private institution, right? I have 6, 7 years. Let me see. Yes, I had 7 years working in the same private institution, but before those 7 years, I worked in another institution, private institution as well, right? So I have 8 years. Oh, let me see, 7, 8, 9, no, 9 years working in a private institutions. Before those institutions, I worked in a non-profit organizations for 3 years. So that's why I say that I had 11 years of experience, right? And I have been working in this university as well. The thing is that when you are in a private school, and probably you guys, you're gonna be starting in a private school, especially because the government is like changing everything every single moment, right? Last year, as you maybe noticed, the teachers were like attending to some exams. I don't know if you heard about it, that last year, every teacher, doesn't matter your major, you were taking some exams to apply for the government. Some teachers were like taking English exams, then you have to take a general exam, and many exams are that the teachers took the last year to apply for a governmental job. I don't know if you heard about it, but and everybody has the opportunity, right, to apply. It doesn't matter if you just finish your career. Let me see. Yes, okay. It doesn't matter if you had just finished your career or you had 8, 10, 15, or 20 years of experiences, right? It doesn't matter. You just took the exams. If you pass it, maybe you get the job, right? But right now they are like telling to us, they are transmitting to teachers, well, we're gonna be disappearing this methodology, and we're gonna be working in the same one as in the past, in which your experience or the age that you have from your graduations will be the first step to take into account. So if they apply this once again, like in the past, maybe you guys, the new generation, will must be like waiting for some years to apply. So if this happens, right, because a lot of teachers are shouting for this, a lot of teachers are like asking for it, and a lot of like supporting organization for teachers are going to the government to say that we have to return back to this methodology, which is the best one, in which el Tribunal Calificador de la Carrera Docente can determine if you are available to take the job, yes or no. So if you ask me, right, for this, I would be probably telling to you that in some part, sort of, right, this is okay. Why sort of? Because um, experience sometimes doesn't mean knowledge. Because I know many teachers who are having more than 10 years teaching, and they are using the same methodologies, or old methodologies, in which students are not learning. They are just in the class pretending to teach, but they are not teaching. Okay. And I heard this from one person, the ones who worked in the process of writing the past, right? I was in a workshop, listened to this person, and he said, well, having 10 years or 15 years of experience doesn't mean that you are intelligent, or doesn't mean that you are that powerful background and information. It doesn't matter if you're having more than 10 years, right? And I like this because he said that young people can transmit a better knowledge to new generation than the old teachers. This is true. I'm not telling to you that all teachers or teachers who are having more than 15 years of teaching are not capable to teach well. Because right, your teacher at the university, many of them are having more than 15 years or 20 years teaching, and they know how to teach, right, very well. And that's good. The thing is that in sort of, right, it's okay that the government return back to that methodology. And at the same time, because we all need that opportunity, right, to work or to have a job. The thing is that when you enter to that process, right, and maybe you're not gonna be enter to the government, right, at once. Maybe you have to start from the private institution. When you start working in a private institution, you have that opportunity, right, sometimes to learn more. Because in a private institution, you're having constantly workshops during the month, right? For example, this week, right? This last Tuesday, I was in a workshop at the university at 5, yes, at 5 p.m. So I went to the university because I had to, and I did my best, right, to stay there because right now I am not in the best condition, but I stayed there. I went there, and I have to stay there, and I have to show up myself right there because they said that we must be there, and I said, okay, I will be doing my best, right, to commute there, and I did it. The thing is that when you are in a private institution, you are currently right or constantly into workshops in which you are improving yourself and you are improving your knowledge. And in those cases, right, for example, in the school I work, we are under that pressure to stay in workshops every single moment, right? I mean, some institutions are harder than others, but in the ones I work, we're having some workshops during the years. And I have to stay there and I have to move there. And I said, okay. But when we are in an academical or academic, sorry, workshop, talking about lesson plannings, I have to face off the theories of the English language because they are always bringing to us Spanish consular, and this is a big problem in a private institution. Even though if your institution is a bilingual one, because my institution in the work in the ones I work is a bilingual institution, right? But it doesn't matter if it is a bilingual institution, if the principal is not a bilingual person, because in my case, my principal, who is a great person, I not admire him and I respect him, is not a bilingual person. So that's why I'm here, right? To work with those aspects. When we are together in the same workshop, they said, okay, we're bringing to you this person, right? And maybe the person is very well prepared, capable, have a lot of experience, but this person started talking to you about Spanish aspects of lesson plannings, and you start like, no, but this is not possible. No, but this is not something that I learned in the university. So now I want to transmit to you this, right? Because you're gonna be there, right? Maybe we're gonna be co-workers in the future, but the thing is that we start like telling, well, for me, this is not applicable in the classroom because we are not following the same methodologies. They start talking about Spanish methodologies, and we then speak about the ones we learn during this subject. And they start talking that you have to take some scripts in which you can detail the step you're going to be following. This is the big problem. But here, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be learning about lesson planning, and they are used to work with scripts. That means in Spanish, like en español, esos son los guiones de clase. Los guiones de clase, nosotros como maestros de inglés no los hacemos, sinceramente. Si ustedes conocen a un maestro de inglés que hace un guión de clase, es porque él desea hacerlo, pero realmente en teoría no vamos a encontrar acá que se nos pida un guión de clase. La universidad no pide guiones de clase para nosotros que somos maestros de inglés. Pero, como les estoy diciendo, se los quiero decir así, ¿verdad? Cuando hablo de lesson plannings, me gusta aclarar esto. En las instituciones privadas, como colegios, yo trabajo en uno de ellos, aunque el colegio sea un colegio muy bueno, ¿verdad? Muy preparado, sea bilingüe y todo, cuando llevan los capacitadores o a veces el director, quiere que el docente de inglés haga un guión de clase y no aprendemos a hacer guiones de clase. Yo puedo traerles un guión de clase, un modelo de guión de clase, pero no, los maestros de inglés no hacemos guiones de clase porque la teoría no nos lo pide. Pero cuando llegamos al trabajo, ¿verdad? Comienzan con que hay que hacer un guión de clase. Yo ya me he enfrentado a esto. Cuando yo no era coordinador, ¿verdad? Recibí una capacitación de guiones de clase. Entonces yo me opuse y dije que los maestros de inglés no hacemos guiones de clase y que realmente no hay una universidad que yo sepa o maestros que yo conozca que me digan que sean inglés, que me digan nosotros redactamos guiones de clase. Ustedes conocen uno, genial, ¿verdad? Pero realmente no nos obligan, ni es algo que lo vamos a leer acá. Pero sí les dije yo una carta didáctica y podemos complementarlo con un monthly planner, que es un plan de mensual, y con un calendario. Eso sí lo aprendemos a hacer. Pero guión de clase como que va más para los maestros de español, por la cuestión de que su forma de enseñanza del español es muy distinta a la nuestra. Entonces hubo una discrepancia. Conmigo, a mí ya me pasó eso. Al final, pues cuando yo me convertí en coordinador, ¿verdad? Yo logré demostrar que realmente no lo necesitábamos. Y tuve que decir, no lo ocupamos eso realmente hasta que se me hizo caso. Como les digo, even in the university or any other private institution or school, they are not demanding to us to write script, right? We are writing lesson plannings only. So this is the best part, right? But at the same time, right, writing a lesson plan is tedious. I'm not gonna be lying to you to say, wow, writing a lesson plan is so incredible, it's nice, it's very fantastic. No, right? Writing lesson plannings maybe is the worst part to be a teacher. But we need it, yes. If you ask your teacher, for example, the ones you're having right now, the university teacher, have you uploaded your lesson plannings to the platform? They will probably to tell you, and you have to, maybe you can ask them, please be honest. Maybe they will be telling to you, well, I had the lesson plannings in my computer, but I haven't uploaded. It could be probably. Hoy en día, con la modalidad en la que estamos, los maestros de la universidad, hace 2019, pongámonos el 2019, ningún maestro de inglés o ningún maestro de la universidad tenía que subir planificaciones a la plataforma. Bueno, es la plataforma del maestro, ¿verdad? Esa plataforma ustedes no tienen acceso, pero al portal docente no subíamos nada de eso, ni sabíamos que se podía subir. Entonces, la universidad ha tenido que invertir en nosotros, en capacitarnos a utilizar esa herramienta electrónica. Para algunos, ¿verdad? Digo algunos porque, thanks God, in this moment of pandemic, I am not too old. ¿Verdad? Gracias a Dios que no estoy tan viejo y que sea como sea, pues ahí paso con la tecnología, ¿verdad? No como ustedes que son más jóvenes que yo, y quizás son más expertos, pero que no les vaya a pasar como dijo un maestro un día. Pretendemos pensar que los alumnos son, o los jóvenes, son súper buenos para la tecnología porque saben utilizar TikToks, ¿verdad? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, y saben utilizar los filtros de fotos, pero pónganle enfrente PowerPoint, Excel y no lo pueden utilizar. Yo espero que ustedes no sean así, ¿verdad? Y que sí sepan utilizar eso. El punto es que tuvimos que aprender a subir todas las planificaciones. Fue nuevo. Por eso les digo, maybe if you had that opportunity and if you, right, if you had that that's confident, right? With your teachers, you can ask, teacher, have you allotted the lesson plannings to the platform? Maybe they will probably tell it to you, right? I have all the lesson plannings on my computer, but I haven't uploaded because it is very tedious. And we have to talk this way. We have to say it, but I want to motivate you, right? As one teacher said one day, do what I say, right? Not what I do. I mean, you have to do the best, right? According to the theory. But if you see a teacher, right, who knows the theory, but he's not following or she's not following the theory, do not do that. You have to follow it. In my case, for being very honest, I haven't worked, believe me, I haven't worked right now on the lesson plannings from my school. I have finished and I have uploaded the lesson planning from the university, but I haven't worked on the lesson plannings of my computer, my school. Why? Well, I had been very sick. And secondly, the principal hasn't asked to us, right, to deliver the lesson plannings. Maybe if you ask to me the next week, okay, or the next 2 weeks, right, you have to present the lesson plannings for this coming May. How will be probably working hard of it? Ahora, vamos a hablar durante la clase de algunos myths y de algunos que son truths, ¿verdad? Acerca de lesson plannings. According to my own experience, right? And according to what I have heard from many other of my coworkers in other schools. Se lo puedo ir mencionando. Hace algunas cosas que y quizás la teoría no la dice, pero la experiencia es distinta. So continue with this one. So here you have this concept that says a lesson planning is a teacher's daily guide for what students need to learn and how will be taught and how learning will be measured. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that concept? I do. Actually, I do. I do agree. What about you? Do you agree? Only 15 students are enrolled in this classroom, in this virtual class. I don't know why. Let me take some screenshot, right? He said, yes, but do you think that this is something that is happening in the classroom? Do you think that the teacher are following this? Okay, do you agree? Do you think that the teacher are following this in the classroom? Do you think that the teachers are respecting this when they are teaching?
In some cases, Mr.
Some cases, yes, right?
Yes, right.
Yes, in some cases. In some cases,
Lesson, so what a student need to measure. And also, lesson plan help teacher be more effective.
nice. Be more effective. Very good. Yes, it's true. The lesson plannings help the teacher to see themselves better as professional ones. And at the same time, lesson planning help teacher to follow the steps. But sometimes this is not happening. Why? Because in some ways, you as teacher needs to, um, let me see, needs sometimes to change everything in the classroom. You can have the plan, right? But sometimes you have planned something that is not applicable in the classroom, sometimes because of the level of your students, sometimes because you cannot do what you're thinking to do because the group is not so small or it's not so long, right? Many factors. But the lesson planning helps teachers to follow the steps. And also, as you said, right, to be more effective in the classroom. Well, this is the lesson planning. Very good. You had the idea, right? Yes, because we had different situations. We had different kind of situation in the classroom. That's true as well. Nice. So continue. This is our learning competency. And now developing lesson plan. Identify elements that can make a successful lesson. Design a lesson to meet the needs of a specific group of learners. On your green post-it, describe your group of students. Okay, maybe if I have to describe my, well, we always describing students, right? Not criticizing students because this is not the purpose, but we are always thinking of students. What is going to be very well for them, helpful for them or not. So that's why we have here teaching versus giving a talk. It's not the same, right? Because if you teach, you plan. If you just keep a talk, you plan as well, but differently. Because if a teacher is just giving a talk, maybe this teacher is not going to be talking directly to the main lesson, right? Maybe sometimes the teacher are just inventing in the classroom, are just pretending to teach, but they are not. And it is very noticeable, especially when your teacher are inventing, right? When your teacher are just thinking what to say, and it means that they are not very well prepared. And a lot of aspects can determine this. Maybe your teachers are not very well capable, right? Or maybe sometimes they are offered to teach something and they accept, but they are not prepared. Esto es algo que pasa también. Y creo que nos pasa a todos. La necesidad nos hace llegar a esto, teaching versus giving talk. Y yo me incluyo en ello. En cierta ocasión a mí se me pidió que enseñara, voy a ser sincero, que enseñara literatura. Literatura inglesa. Tenía libros antiguos, ¿verdad? Eso fue en el 2013. Bueno, claro, yo quería trabajar. cuando se me entrevistó, ¿verdad? I got an interview and I passed the interview. I remember that I taught a demo class, right? And I did it well. So the coordinator was very surprised and happy for me. And she told me, you are perfect for this job. And then I got the last interview and they decided to give me that opportunity. Okay, I was very happy, right? And I was called to work in 2013, I remember. And I went there, yo fui, ¿verdad? Y me presentaron al jefe que iba a tener. Bueno, en ese momento, el jefe que iba a tener era el licenciado Félix. Creo que le dio clases. Yo recuerdo que el licenciado me dijo, hoy somos buenos amigos después de ese año. Recuerdo que me dijo, ¿estás seguro? No. ¿Usted tiene experiencia con literatura? Yo era de 5º año de la universidad, imagínense. Ustedes me han llevado en literatura, me imagino, inglesa todavía. No, ¿verdad? You haven't, even North American literature or British literature. Bueno, yo dije que sí, ¿verdad? Sí, le dije yo. Como los pensum van cambiando, yo imagino que él no recordaba cuando había llevado su literatura. Y yo, sí, literatura. Yo me imaginaba que era solo de ir a leer, ¿verdad? Eso es lo que yo pensaba. No la han llevado. Entonces, yo dije, sí, sí. Yo recuerdo que ese primer año para mí fue una pesadilla, porque yo tenía que planificar cómo enseñar literatura, pero yo era inexperto en la literatura, inexperto total. Realmente no era una persona que pasaba leyendo. Para enseñar literatura se tiene que leer. So you like reading, right? And I remember I was not a compulsive reader. I was not like in love of reading. So, and I pretend, right? And I pretend to stay in front of my student knowing the theory, knowing the lesson. Y yo pretendía. Ahora, el detalle fue el siguiente. Ese primer año, que para mí fue duro porque tenía niños que venían estudiando inglés desde kinder, imagínense. Ya en 7º grado, cuántos años habían pasado, sea como sea, eran niños, pero tenían un nivel de inglés aceptable. Entonces yo me enfrentaba a esa realidad. Niños que levantaban la mano y me decían, no entiendo esta palabra, y yo tampoco la entendía. Niños que me levantaban la mano y me decían, no entiendo esta oración o este párrafo, y yo tampoco lo entendía. So what I was doing there is just inventing. Y si les cuento esto como experiencia, ¿verdad? Yo entiendo and I understand the beginners or the teacher who are starting, right? And I said, thank God, because this coordinator that I had that year, right, was not so difficult for me, was not so tough with me. He taught me a lot. He taught me how to plan better, and I learned from him. Now we are good friends. We choose to eat together right now, just to go to buy something to the store, or just to go out, right, together. Now we are good friends. But in that year, he taught me a lot. But the thing is that I just giving talks in that year, and I was inventing. So I learned that the lesson planning was perfect for me and for teachers to plan the class, because when you are planning the class, you are reading your lessons and you are determining if your content is applied for you firstly, and secondly for your student. Because if you don't know about the content, imagine that you don't know how to translate, you don't know how to explain something. How it is possible that you are putting that into your PPTs or your lessons or your papers, whatever, to your students, and you don't know the answers, you don't know how to do it, you don't know the meanings. You got it? So this is why it's different to teach than just to give a talk. Because when you're teaching, you are preparing the lesson planning. When you're giving a talk, you are inventing. And that's it. It's very common, right? To do it. It's very common to see teachers inventing in the classroom. And it is a pity, believe me, it's a pity. Right now I am a coordinator, and I said to my teacher, okay, because I am a coordinator and right now I'm just ruling to girls, to just girl teachers. It's hard for me because I used to have men in my group, but right now I'm just having just girls in my group. Imagine that's just girls. For me, it's not so, well, it was not so easy. Right now it's better because we're having more than 1 year, right? Working together. But at the beginning it was hard for me because I have to work with only with girl teacher, right? With women. But right now I said, okay, ladies, we're gonna be working on the lesson plannings in this way. We have to check our contents first. If you consider that the words are very difficult to understand and are very difficult for you, I just recommend you to study. And if you haven't that time to study for teaching, right, you can change it for something that you understand and your student will be understanding. But try not to go to the classroom to invent, because in this way, there's the next year that the students are having another teacher, maybe this teacher will be pointing you out that you were not able to teach correctly the lesson. It is better to teach simple than to teach something complicated that you don't know how to do it. Eso es algo muy sencillo y es aplicable al TOEFL. Fíjense que hace unos años me decía un maestro a mí, hay un problema a veces cuando el docente está giving a talk, como en este caso, y no está teaching. El problema es que el docente quiere enseñar algo tan complicado y tan complejo que se le olvida cómo enseñar, por ejemplo, el artículo definido y el artículo definido. Y el estudiante viene hablándome de literatura, pero no sabe utilizar el artículo definido con el artículo indefinido, y a la hora del examen TOEFL, cuando se le pide que identifique el artículo indefinido, no puede. ¿Cuándo utilizar a o an si tenemos una palabra que lleva una h después? No sabe. No sabe porque el maestro no se complicó y le dijo, esto es giving a talk, miren. Esto que le voy a decir ahorita es un ejemplo de giving a talk. El maestro se para al frente, alguien que no planifica, es normal, esto sí pasa. Yo tengo que corregir muchas de estas cosas. Primero me corregí a mí, ¿verdad? Porque yo no es que ya, uy, no. Yo sigo aprendiendo. Pero cuando yo ahora, en calidad de coordinador, puedo corregir a mis profesores y les digo, a veces les he tenido que decir, no, está mal planificado, porque yo le pregunto a un niño, a un joven, que me identifique el uso de la a y an, y esto me lo dicen hasta en la universidad. Se le coloca an, o se escribe an, antes de una palabra que comienza con una vocal. ¿Usted dice eso? Sea honesto, ¿verdad? You can write yes or no, the chat. If you want to speak, it's okay, but you can write. Usted dice eso, se coloca an antes de una palabra que contenga una vocal y se coloca a antes de una palabra que contenga una consonante. You say that? Or you say no. En la escuela decían eso. Got it. ¿Cómo dice usted, Dina? Perdón, Dina. What you say, Dina? And you?
When the word begin with a sound of a vowel,
Excellent.
we write an.
Very good. So it's different, right? So Duma says that in the school, he used to hear that. Yes, I know, it's common. That's very common. The teacher said, okay, guys, today we're gonna be working on articles, the indefinite ones. The indefinite articles are just before a word having a vowel. No, right? Because in the English language, we don't count vowels as the same in the Spanish language, because in the Spanish language, if someone asks to you, right, can you please count the syllables in a word? Okay, in the Spanish language, you count all the vowels you're having in a word, because every letter transmits a single different or a single sound pronunciation. But in the English language, different. In the English language, when you are teaching syllables, you have to say to your students, syllables are identified when you count the sounds of vowels, or the vowel sounds, right? En el inglés nosotros contamos las sílabas según el número de sonido vocálico. En español contamos las sílabas según el número de vocales. Ahí está el error. Cuando no planificamos y no sabemos cosas así de sencillas, Se lo podemos decir a alguien en primer año de la universidad, ¿cierto? Y esa persona en primer año de la universidad va a ir pensando, y este es el problema de no planificar, va a ir pensando hasta el quinto año, llegó a la pre, toma el TOEFL para graduarse y su escalafón, ¿verdad? Que esa es la idea. Y cuando le sale esta pregunta, porque sí sale, porque yo se lo digo por experiencia que sí sale, porque yo, ¿verdad? Estoy ahorita trabajando con eso, con preparaciones de eso y con plataformas de esas, les digo que siempre sale. El estudiante encuentra la palabra a, an, hour, y como tiene H, viene y dice que es la A, sale mala y no sabe por qué. Y se queja y se enoja hasta que alguien viene y utiliza la metodología, ¿verdad? Es aprender para aprender. So you have to. It's very cruel and difficult for a student, for many people, right? And why is this happening? Because the teacher are not preparing the lesson. Got it? If you are a grammar teacher, you have to teach this very well to students. Ahí está un detalle. Speaker, talking audience. It's not the same, right? Remember, so the teachers, questions, answers, and activities. So you are always doing this, right? You are always asking questions and you are always receiving questions, right? You are always trying to answer to students through activities. If you, right, as teacher, don't know the answer, so it's your own responsibility to look for those answers to get students, because in this way they are learning and they are improving. And also you are learning as well. Remember this part, right? You have to become a compulsive reader, because in this way, you're gonna be able to teach more effectively and complicated topics, okay? So right now I can consider myself as a good reader. I like reading, but you're not gonna be looking at me, right, reading on the buses, or you're not gonna be watching me, right, reading on the corridors or in the streets or in the bank, right? No, I'm not reading in some spaces like this. I read at night. I read alone. I read in a space in which nobody will be interrupting me. You got it? There are many students who said that I am able to manage some topics, and I reply to them, but one day I was not able to do that. And what I did is just reading. I stayed the whole week reading. You have to do the same because you're going to be teachers. Comprenden. Miren, esta semana hubo un día que yo leí desde las 5 de la tarde hasta las casi 2 de la mañana, 300 páginas en inglés. Y no se los digo porque yo quiera show off, ¿verdad? No, sino porque quiero transmitirles que un maestro debe de estar leyendo porque no lo sabemos todo. And I was reading in English, only in English, right? And I read Spanish as well. Leo español, sí. Inglés, sí. No significa que porque ya pasaron muchos años de mi graduación, ya no hay que leer. No, como no. Es que ahí no termina, ¿verdad? Como maestros siempre tenemos que estar capacitados para dar una respuesta. Por ejemplo, la vez pasada, that I wrote, I remember in exams, you have to select from the miscellaneous topic. Some of you asked me, what is the meaning of miscellaneous, or what does the word miscellaneous mean in Spanish? You were not able to understand the word because you're not reading. Got it? And I said it right. And I said diverso. Maybe some of you had forgotten this. Maybe. And I just tried to push you, right, to motivate you that you start reading right now because you are finishing your career and you have to face this big exam, right? You have to pass it. You have to be able to pass it, but you need vocabulary. Okay, a lot of a bunch of vocabulary in your mind, and try and how to use it, because this is your profession, is your life. learning, right? Here, learning objective versus applicants, different. So we're gonna be working on it. We're gonna be working on it. We're gonna be working on these differences because it's not the same. Sorry for the noise. Wait a minute. Okay, continue. It's not the same, right? Objective and outcomes, objetivo con resultado, o sea, con simplemente, ya estuvo. No, ¿verdad? What a student will learn during the lesson, how the student could demonstrate their learning, identify elements that can make up a successful lesson, and design a lesson to meet the needs of specific group of learners. Remember, at the end of the lesson or at the end of the year, the parents are not gonna be asking you, right? What is how can I just say this? That at the end of the school year, the parents are not interested in the way you teach. They are interested on the outcomes. You got it? So right now we are finishing in our school the first period, and I have to get all the grades to parents. And I have some students who had failed the subject. They're gonna be mad against me. Believe me, they're gonna be mad against me, telling to me why, but they never test themselves as parents. So this is the outcomes, right? This is the difference between objectives and outcomes. So here you have this, right? We're gonna be working on it. Vamos a aprender esto, cómo escribir objetivos con los 3 pasos. Understand the concept, right? And write one of your first pin post-it. So it means, vamos a tener que hacer esto. Aprender a escribirlos. Aprender a escribirlos tomando en cuenta el qué, el por qué, el para qué. Que el cómo, ¿verdad? Cómo hacer esto, cómo escribirlo, cómo escribir un objetivo, teniendo en cuenta el resultado. How do you assess what your student have learned? Is the idea of assessment commonly in your teaching practice? If not, is there a reason why not? This week we were asked by our coordinator in the university, are you applying formative assessment in your lesson plannings? Well, we were asked a general group, right? If I were asked directly to me, I could probably say yes. Si me hubiera preguntado a mí el coordinador esta semana, ¿usted aplica directamente? Porque tuvimos una reunión, ¿verdad? Y él dijo, ¿estamos aplicando evaluaciones formativas a nuestros estudiantes? Si él me hubiera dicho a mí, ¿está aplicando usted evaluación formativa? Yo le hubiera dicho que sí. Yes, right, because I am in both groups. Right now I am teaching phonetics and teaching didactics, and I am applying formative assessment. Y creo que aplicando esto ustedes aprenden no solamente de una práctica, de una evaluación formativa, sino que aprendieron también que formativo significa no evaluado, ¿verdad? Tuve varios mensajes al inicio cuando les dejaba formative assessments or evaluations from you in the chats and WhatsApp telling to me that you were very worried that if you can have another opportunity to do it because you missed the activity. Porque creían que era evaluado y me tocó explicarles, no, miren, formativo no es evaluado. ¿Ok? Formativo es un review, una práctica, es un soporte nada más. It's just supported activities, right? In which you can practice what you have learned during the lesson. But it's not evaluated. It's not the same, right? To say that if you had those activities because, or if you as a teacher promote those activities, it is because you are interested that your student can continue learning, that they can continue practicing, right, what you have taught to them. Okay, just look at this, right? It says in here, what it's going to engage your students straight away. Is it something to think about it? Is it something they need to write? Is it something they need to discuss, right? The lesson structure. So listen, well, at the beginning of this semester, I told you that the most important thing, person, right, in the classroom or the center of the classroom is the student, and everything that you are doing in the classroom is for them, for your student. yes, the structure of the lesson is important. And you have to think right, how to write it. There are some different kind of lesson planning, for example, PPP, CPU, for example, PPU or ICRIF, right? In other words, that you're gonna be working on it. The one we're using at university is very different than the one we're using in the school I work, right? So I have to deal with two different kind of lesson plannings per year. I have to work in the school I work with a different lesson planning than the university, because in the university it's very different. Then I have to apply, right? Then you have this one, lesson structured hook, right? Well, to understand it, we have to see it in this way. Got it? You can say like this: the main context of your lesson, very activities if possible, lots of considerations, right? It's like the introduction. It's like an essay, right? Because the simple part of an essay are the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. It's the same in the lesson planning. You have an introduction in which you present the topic. You can bring to the student a wrap up. Then you have the body in which you explain the topic. You do some activities, right, for the student. They can understand the lesson. And at the end, you have the conclusion, which is for an assessment. It could be evaluator, right? Maybe like in a laboratory or the midterm exam, or it could be just a formative assessment in which the student can practice, and that's it. Okay, you have to handle with this part as well, right? You have to handle with the time. It's very appropriate that you can handle the time in your lesson planning, because with the time, when you are creating your lesson plannings and you are taking into consideration the time, you're not gonna be without anything in the middle of the lesson, right? Because this is something that happens to many teachers, especially the beginners, that they are teaching and at the middle of the lesson, they don't have anything to say. Come on, right? Or when you are very well prepared, and for example, you're teaching articles, as I said before, maybe you could like, well, I will be teaching articles. Okay, I will be surprising my students. Maybe you can start telling to the student that articles are adjectives at the same time. In this way, you can expand, right, the narrow class. Cuando están bien preparados y han preparado su lesson, por ejemplo, en los artículos, aparte de enseñar que son definidos, indefinidos y que se pueden escribir los indefinidos de esta manera, ¿verdad? Teniendo en cuenta los sonidos vocálicos. En inglés también pueden decir son adjetivos y pueden expandir su lesson plan, ¿verdad? Su clase, diciendo a sus estudiantes que los artículos son adjetivos. Y de esta manera han transmitido algo nuevo, algo diferente, que se nota y que les hace ver diferentes y mejores como maestros. Pero si no sabemos eso, que un artículo es un adjetivo, probablemente estemos lack of preparation. Por eso les digo, a veces queremos que el estudiante termine hablando de Shakespeare, que está bien, de los sonetos de Shakespeare, que me diga el soneto 17 de Shakespeare, que me diga la carta 801 de Vincent Van Gogh, que me diga cuál fue el impacto del hermano, del hermano Theodore Van Gogh con Vincent Van Gogh en el siglo XVIII, que me explique quizás un libro que me hable de la batalla de las dos rosas, The War of the Two Roses, en Inglaterra. No sé, que me hable de temas así de complejos como la World War I, World War II, the Cold War, no sé, cosas así de complejas, ¿verdad? Queremos que el estudiante nos explique temas como eso, pero a la hora del speech, el maestro comienza a identificar mal uso de los artículos, ¿cierto? Mal uso de los adjetivos, mal uso de los adverbios, confusión entre adjetivo y adverbio. No sabe dónde colocar un adverbio, no sabe ni qué es un adverbio. No sabe cuáles son los negativos, no sabe cuáles son los positivos, no sabe cómo utilizar el predicado nominal porque es una sola confusión. Entonces, hay que reflexionar como docentes. Queremos llevar al estudiante a un punto tan alto, pero las bases están muy malas. ¿Y a dónde está el mayor impacto? A la hora de un examen como el TOEFL, ¿verdad? Que aparte de de preguntarnos temas como filosofía, antropología, arquitectura, ingeniería, ciencia, botánica, todo eso, que nos lo pregunta. En la parte más básica, que es la gramática, el estudiante no es capaz de sacarse 32 de 40 buenas, que es lo que necesitan para el escalafón, simplemente porque hay un desfase, ¿verdad? Hay un problema de clases de primer año. Porque muchas de las preguntas del examen TOEFL de gramática están en primer año. Si usted ha olvidado eso, pues le comparto, ¿verdad? Que debe repasar esos temas. Por ejemplo, cómo distinguir el will del be going to. Hay muchos estudiantes que no saben how to distinguish the will and be going to. And this is something that is happening, right? And I am not criticizing the method or the methodologies, right? The teacher just know, because right now you're going to be the teacher and you are working here with me to be teachers. So it's your own responsibility right now to perform yourself, right? To work in you. Some consideration, variation, challenge, differentiation, improvisation. The every part, right? Be thinking, right? Be a good thinker. Variation, you know, the class can vary, right, during the day. And it will be dependent about, sometimes about the group class you have, right? You can work on different kind of activities as well, challenge, right? Or the challenge. Maybe in the classroom, you're not having projector, computers, I don't know, many aspects, right? So you have to start working, right? Or start thinking how to change this differentiation, a lot of ones. It's not the same to work in a private school than to work in a public school. It's not the same. Then you have here, as you can see, then you have here improvisation. I can say that every teacher must do this in their life. No sé si les conté, en el 2017, a mí me mandó a la universidad 2 practicantes. Y los muchachos muy buenos, la verdad, buenos para el inglés, excelentes. Ya se graduaron ellos, ya salieron de la U, pero muy buenos, la verdad. Entonces llegan ellos y me dicen, somos sus practicantes, ¿verdad? Yo suelo dar oportunidad, pero no les suelo dar todo el ciclo para que el practicante de clases, quizás una vez nada más. O dos, si es que la universidad me dice que le vale más oportunidad. El punto está en que ellos me pidieron, ¿verdad? Porque llevan varios días conmigo. Está bien, les dije. Y cuando llegaron a dar la clase, era un domingo. Yo ese año estaba dando clases un domingo. Cuando llegaron a dar su clase, yo recuerdo que se fue la luz. Y me dicen ellos, se me acercan y me dicen que si podía salir del aula un momento. Sí. Y me dicen, fíjese que nosotros veníamos preparados para dar la clase, pero no hay luz y ocupamos las diapositivas. Y sin la luz no podemos dar clase. Imagínense. O sea, eso demostró que no estaban bien preparados. Porque como maestro yo no puedo ir pensando en que no voy a dar mi clase si no hay luz. ¿Cierto? Ya si no hay opción, pues se mueve. Como en este caso, imagínense. Think about it if the lights goes off. Wait a minute. Sorry for the noise. Well, if the lights goes off early in the morning and I had not that opportunity to teach you, I can consider I can go to other place in which I can have light, right? Or electricity. If I'm not in that position, I can move the class and I can contact you, right? And I can say, guys, we're not gonna be able to have it. But it is very different when you are capable to go to the classroom and the light goes out, right? So you start thinking, how can I teach my class without my computer, without the electricity? I will be providing the students the lesson, writing the topic on the whiteboard, using the books, using the materials. That's why it is important for teachers to have the lesson very well prepared. If you are not planning your class right, or if you're not bringing with you the lesson plannings, you're not gonna be able, right, to teach the class very well. So continue. Well, we already spoke about these ones. We spoke about the differences. Let me see. Now this one, way to support students. Modeling, word example, scaffolding. Remember, you have to model your student, right? And we talked about this the last class. You cannot be like pretending you are the classroom as teachers. You're not gonna be in the classroom sharing to your students your life. No, right? You have to model that you are a teacher. You have to help them to understand the topic using many examples, right? Using activities in which student can practice. Then you have to work with example, providing samples, providing materials, providing things your student, for example, formative evaluations, providing things your student can get with them to practice scaffolding, extracting knowledge from your student to complete some activities. So this is the best point of this one. Okay, this is the same. Now, guys, I want you to see this video. If you are not able to listen to this video, please let me know it. I think you are. Wait a minute. Okay, so you ready? I will be playing it right now. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh. Okay, no, know what is happening right here. Wait a minute. Maybe I can play it in this way. Because in the morning, I could. I like this video and I know you will like it as well. Okay, right now it's possible. 1, 2, 3.
La palabra educación en el fondo quiere decir sacar de dentro, ¿eh? Es decir, no somos cubos vacíos que hay que llenar, sino fuegos que hay que encender. Y en este sentido me gustaría contaros una historia que a mí personalmente me ha marcado mucho. He hablado en distintos foros sobre esta historia porque señala lo que para mí es la diferencia entre profesores y maestros. En 1951, en la ciudad de Detroit, nace un joven, un chico de color, que pronto nota lo que es la pérdida, porque siendo jovencito el padre se va y se queda la madre, una mujer que no tenía estudios, una mujer que se había dedicado a cuidar de sus hijos y se ve con esta situación, con la situación de que tiene que sacar adelante una familia, se dedica a limpiar apartamentos, a limpiar hospitales, etcétera, etcétera. Y claro, cuando uno ha vivido en la ciudad de Detroit, como he vivido yo trabajé en un hospital que se llama Henry Ford, en neurocirugía. Cuando uno ha vivido en la ciudad de Detroit, pues se da cuenta que Detroit es una ciudad apasionante, pero en ciertas épocas de la historia ha sido una ciudad bastante complicada. En los años 50 verdaderamente había un apartheid, una especie de apartheid, es decir, las personas de color se tenían que sentar en sitios distintos que las personas blancas, tenían que ir a baños diferentes, etcétera, etcétera. Y claro, este chico era un chico de color, era un chico pobre y que pronto pues, fue destacando no por su talento, sino por lo que consideraban que era su estupidez. Tampoco por su serenidad, sino más bien por su tendencia, su temperamento violento. Cualquiera que hubiera tenido, digamos, una bola de cristal habría imaginado que este chico habría acabado sin duda en un penal en los Estados Unidos, si no muerto en un combate entre bandas enfrentadas. Pasaba sus ratos, se olvidaba de su triste condición viendo programas de televisión hasta que un día su madre decidió que iban a ver menos televisión y se iban a dedicar más a leer libros. Y les obligó a leer libros yendo a la biblioteca pública de Detroit, y el joven Benjamin empezó a enamorarse de los libros. Quiero que entendáis que en el colegio este niño tenía las peores notas, pero había un profesor, el profesor de ciencias, que verdaderamente era un maestro. Él creía que en todo ser humano hay grandeza, que en todo ser humano hay potencial, y que la misión de un maestro es ayudar a que ese potencial se despliegue y florezca. Un día el maestro aparece con una piedra muy rara, la levanta delante de la clase y pregunta, ¿qué es esto? Se produce un silencio porque nadie sabe lo que es eso, salvo una persona, que ya os imagináis quién era, Benjamin. Pero Benjamin era el tonto de la clase. La primera pregunta es ¿por qué lo sabía Benjamin? Benjamin lo sabía porque en la biblioteca pública se había dedicado a leer libros de ciencias y por casualidad o sincronicidad, quién sabe, había encontrado libros sobre minerales y había una foto de esa piedra. Pero ¿vosotros pensáis que el tonto de la clase se atreve a hablar? No, porque tú mismo ya matas la respuesta antes de que nazca, es imposible. Si no lo sabe el resto, tengo que estar equivocado aunque parezca que estoy en lo correcto. Pero el profesor sostenía en la roca. De verdad que nadie sabe lo que es esta roca. Y tímidamente el joven Benjamin alzó la mano. Es muy fácil decir, venga, Benjamin, ¿cómo lo vas a saber tú? Si tú no sabes nada. Pero aquel profesor mantuvo un espíritu curioso, interesado. Él sabía que en todo ser humano hay grandeza. La buscaba. Benjamin, ¿tú lo sabes? Sí. ¿Qué es? Obsidiana. Correcto. Pues ¿sabes algo más de la obsidiana? Y vaya que sí sabía el joven Benjamin. Empezó a hablar sobre la obsidiana, las temperaturas elevadísimas, luego el frío, cómo cristaliza la roca, etcétera, etcétera. Supuso un antes y un después en la vida de este chico, porque este chico recuperó la confianza en sí mismo. Creyó que era posible aprender. Creyó en sí mismo. Este chico pasó de ser el último de la clase a ser el mejor estudiante de su colegio. Hizo realidad su más profundo sueño, que era absolutamente imposible, ser médico. Se convirtió en el mejor neurocirujano infantil de la historia, profesor Ben Carson. Ben Carson en 1987 hizo una operación de separar a dos gemelos siameses unidos a nivel craneoencefálico. Todas las cirugías que se habían hecho hasta aquel momento para separar lo que se llama un cráneo pago, esta malformación craneoencefálica, todas los niños habían muerto en la mesa de quirófano. En esta operación, en 1987, intervinieron 70 profesionales de la medicina y duró 22 horas. Los dos niños salieron adelante, vivieron y estuvieron bien y sanos. Él aplicó técnicas especiales de cirugía cardíaca a la neurocirugía. A nadie se le habían ocurrido. En todo ser humano hay potencial, en todo ser humano hay grandeza y tenemos, entiendo, que tener esta disposición a crear espacios de oportunidad para que esas personas puedan mostrar lo que en realidad siempre han tenido y siempre tendrán, pero que no todo el mundo mostrará si no ve ese espacio de oportunidad.
Okay, nice. I hope you like the video, right? And with this one, we are like always finishing, almost right. It says in here, the expert in anything was once a beginner. Yes, it's very nice, right? So remember, just take this into account with you every time. And when I am in front of my student, if someone asks me, what you see, right? When you are in front of your students, I can say that I see a whole generation, right? In every person, because from you will be like having many children, a new generation is going to be coming to the world. So it's my responsibility as teacher to provide my student the best knowledge, my effort, and that's why I have to teach with the heart, right? With my heart in my hand. I have to do it, and I have to keep reading every single time because I have to prepare myself before teaching something. So remember, the expert in anything, according to Helen Hayes, was once just a beginner. So right now, I had spoken with a lot of people, and sometimes when they come to me, right, asking to me, for example, teacher, do you know what is a report? Well, you know what is the reported speech? And they say yes, and they can explain that right. So the last day you asked me, what is that when we say if I were, and I was like ready to help you to understand that. And many people believe that, wow, the teacher is like very understanding person. No, it is not true. And I said, no, I am not outstanding or genius, right? No, one day I was just a beginner, and those topics I need to review until I get it. Now, so because I want to become a teacher, and I want to motivate and I want to inspire my children in the school, and I want to say that they are very capable. When I am with them, I always try to make them laugh, make them feel confident in the classroom. I said, okay, guys, this is your opportunity to speak, get errors and mistakes with me, because I'm not gonna be laughing about you. I will be helping you if I can. So right now I'm having students in other countries. They are preparing for being doctors, architects. They are gonna pick one day incredible um, professionals, and I am glad for them. Right now, I am watching on the social networking rights and Facebook that some of my students are graduating this year, and I am writing them some messages like, "Congratulations, you did it very well. Continue working hard. Keep doing your best. Keep doing it like this, right?" Because this is the point, to motivate others. Remember, our careers, our teaching career are very powerful in the society. So we have that weapon, right, in the society to change mind, to inspire, to help, to do many things. That's why when you are asked to do your lesson plans, do it in a great way. So guys, this was the introductions of lesson plannings. So we are at noon right now, right? And well, we have already finished. I don't know if you have a question or anything to say. If you are not having anything to say or any questions, so I'm just telling to you goodbye, right? Have a good vacation. And after going out, remember that I'm sending to you vocabulary to memorize this coming Monday. I will be sending to you the vocabulary this coming Monday. I know maybe you will be telling to me, but teacher, we are on vacation. But listen, guys, it's okay, we're on vacation, but guys, if you had that vocabulary, why not to learn the vocabulary? When you are taking the exam will not be like forbidding you because you were on vacation, right? So I will be sending it to you, and it will be your option to learning, to memorizing or not. At the end is your own professional profile, right? And guys, until this after this class, right, you're having an activity. It's a formatting activity in a recorded class. You can watch the video and you can take it until tomorrow midnight. Have a nice day, guys. Let me see. No, it's not a quiz. It's not a quiz, right? It's just a formative evaluation. It's not like, lo vuelvo a explicar, la actividad de hoy no es una evaluación de examen, ¿verdad? Es solamente una práctica para reforzar lo que hemos visto, pero no es un examen, no es una nota de examen de laboratorio o de parcial. Pero tienen que tomarlo como parte de su formación. So have a nice day, right? God bless you, take care, and goodbye.